Ready? I hope you can speak to them. I didn't introduce her well.
Whoever
The
is
person
going.
before you is Engineer Winnie Byanyima, the Under Secretary General of the UN and the Executive Director of UN8. Engineer Winnie Byanyima, speak to the media.
Thank you. Welcome. I suppose you say your name and your agency when you're going to ask your question. And do you want me to say some things
Yes,
first?
make
Okay.
a statement and then they'll ask.
So thank you for coming to meet me. I'm pleased to talk to you on this occasion of 1 year, marking 1 year since Dr. Kizza Besigye was abducted from Nairobi, thrown in a military jail, and eventually in a civilian jail, and has been languishing in jail for a year. And the case against him, which is a capital offense, treason, hasn't even taken off, 12 months on. I visited him yesterday, and I found him healthy, and we thank God for that. Found him strong in spirit, still insisting that he's innocent and that the only reason he's in prison is because he disagrees with President Museveni about the path forward for our country, and that is why he is in jail, because President Museveni does not accept disagreeing voices, and he sees Dr. Besigye as an obstacle to a project that he is pursuing and that we have watched for several years, and that seems to be now in its late stages of development, that project of succession of his son moving from the army to become his successor. And Dr. Kizza Besigye believes that his strong opposition to this undemocratic, untransparent, dangerous project, and he's speaking out against it, is the reason why he's being locked away. Nothing more than that. He's innocent. So that's all I can say, that he thanks very, very much you, the media, who have kept Ugandans and the whole world alert to this injustice against him. He thanks you. He thanks his many, many supporters who come to see him. They are the ones who keep him motivated and able to endure such a gross injustice. He thanks all his supporters, all his friends, and his family. Thank you very much. I can take your questions.
I have just a few questions, but I want to know from you. The Temple of Justice has not accorded your husband justice a year later. He has not taken a plea yet in this very treason matter. And not just here in Uganda, but equally in Nairobi, where another case was taken. And I want to know and hear from you, for how long shall you stand that, even for Dr. Kizza Besigye, who you speak to? Because this is the result you have. Fight for justice in the actual rightful way. But it's not coming forth.
Why do you even call it a temple of justice? These courts are not a temple of justice. What we have seen is a travesty of justice. First of all, that he was thrown in a military court, and the military court said they were ready to prosecute, try him, and finish the case in 5 days, that they had the evidence. We fought that. He was a civilian. It was illegal to try him in a military court. And he came, the Supreme Court ruled and brought him before the civilian court. And lo and behold, this was 2 months later, maybe even 3, because he was arrested in November and he came before the civilian court in February. We were surprised when the prosecution came and said, we do not have enough evidence, we need time to find evidence. In the military court, they were ready to prosecute and convict him in 5 days. President Museveni said so. He told me that there was no need for bail because they were ready to finish the case in 5 days. His son said he was ready to hang him on a tree and had decided where and when to hang him because he was guilty. They were ready. But now, civilian courts say, sorry, we don't yet have evidence, we're going to start looking for it. That's since February. We are in December, close to December. They're not ready. If they are, why haven't they brought their evidence? When you ask them, they will say, oh, because the defense is always is the one delaying. The defense has not been delaying. The defense has been asking for bail, which is his right. They've denied it to him 3 times. And it is his right. He's an innocent man. The principle of our law is you're innocent till you're found guilty. While you're innocent, you should not be stopped from carrying on your normal activities. Be with your family, do your business. But Besigye, for him, no. He's the exception. So this is persecution, it's not justice. We continue to resist this. Your question is about what are we going to do about it? Resist as we always done. We mobilize, we resist this politically. It is political. He is a prisoner of conscience. He is a political prisoner, and we have to keep fighting, insisting that the political issues that he wants addressed need to be out there, being debated in the public, in the parliament, and resolved there. Imprisoning him does not solve the issues he stands for. So what I'm doing now is precisely what you're asking me. Going to the public and continuing to pile pressure on President Museveni and his captured judiciary to do the right thing. Free Kizza Besigye and other political prisoners and discuss their issues and resolve them democratically.
And you have done that for a whole year.
We continue. These are struggles. Shamim, we do not look at Kizza Besigye's situation as a personal issue. We look at it as a political issue, and we see this as a part of our democratic development. We are moving from being an undemocratic nation, and we are struggling to become a more democratic nation that has the rule of law, that treats people equally and fairly. And for this, we're going to be struggling for a very long time. What I can say to you is that for Kizza Besigye, I can say it also for myself, and very many of us who've been working together in this political struggle, we feel we've made our contribution. And we very much hope that the next generation will carry on these struggles until we have a democratic country, a just country. But these are not things you can take shortcuts on. Price is high for the individuals concerned. It shouldn't have to be like this, but it is what it is. We fight on.
Talks up to you. And I want to know, for all that has taken this year, and maybe the more time to come, when Dr. Kizza Besigye is in prison for what the justice system reveals for now, are those people you consider to speak to? They're not people foreign to you.
First of all, I discourage you from personalizing these issues. Dr. Besigye is not in prison because he knows President Museveni or because I know him. He's there because of what he believes in, what he articulates, what he demands. And there are many other political prisoners, many of whom do not know President Museveni, have never met him, all these loop young people. I've met there even old men who were supposed to be ADF arrested from different parts of the country, who've been there 15 years. They've never even been in a court. No case has been brought against them. So this is a political question. And so, whether I know President Museveni or I don't know him, there is an injustice here. And we call on him to do the right thing. Dialogue, yes. There should be political dialogue over the issues that Besigye stands for, like the question of the succession. There should be a dialogue, and I call for it. And we will be happy to be part of such a dialogue. We have views, we have experience, we have knowledge. We can be part of a dialogue about the future. President Museveni has now said he's not going to run again, and we thank him for that. We think that it is good for him to retire. I think that he has got quite a number of grandchildren, and spending time with them could be a nice thing to do. I also think that he's been on the national scene and the regional scene and the global scene for so long. He has some experiences to share. I'm sure there will be organizations, governments, international bodies that will want to tap into his knowledge and his experience once he retires. So he won't be short of interesting things to do. We encourage that. So there should be a national dialogue about how to move forward after our country has been under the leadership of just one person for 40 years, and who also came to power by force. He didn't come to power through an election. We brought him to power through a revolution. We are a country that's never had a peaceful change of government. So if you want to have it after him, I think we need a reset. We need to have a national dialogue, rewrite the rules, reorganize how, and plan a safe, peaceful, democratic transition, transparent transition. So I think by saying he won't run again, he's done the right thing, but that's only step one. We want him to go to step two. Step two, oh, oh, you're saying my bra is showing. It shouldn't. It shouldn't be showing. Thank you for letting me know. So now I think I'm okay. So step one is to say that he won't run again, and we welcome that. Step two is to free all political prisoners, because these are people who have challenged him, who've put forward different views from him. So free them so that we can go to step three with them. Step three should be a national dialogue where Ugandans of every background, young and old, all faiths, all political persuasions, academics, teachers, everyone who has something to contribute can contribute to that national dialogue. And that national dialogue should be neutrally moderated, not under his control. President Museveni likes to control everything, but if the national dialogue is to be an honest, productive dialogue, he has to be just one of the people giving ideas, not the one driving that dialogue. So neutral facilitation that can be found, and that dialogue should result into a pathway, a defined pathway towards restoring our democracy. So these are things that he can do, and this is the legacy he could leave, a democratic transition. The path he's on of crowning his son, installing his son, is dangerous. It could plunge us into a difficult time of more instability, of more violence, and it could undo many good things that are already happening.
That's part of the things that Dr. Kizza Besigye fights against. when Dr. Kizza Besigye remains incarcerated? Do you think he'll have yielded?
It does worry me, yes. And that's why I'm here before you, to really appeal to President Museveni, to tell him that Dr. Besigye is an important political actor in this country. Whether he agrees with him or not, whether he likes it or not, Dr. Kizza Besigye set out in his youth to offer himself as a political leader, paid a high price too, just like him, fought a war with him, came, did many reforms to turn Uganda back to the democratic path, and he still has views to share. So it simply cannot work, and it's simply unjust, and it is a recipe for instability to lock him up and then do a transition that he isn't able to contribute to. So yes, I appeal to him to do the right thing, to free Kizza Besigye, free other political actors, because they want to shape the future of their country, and they have a right to. It is not a plea. No, it is asking him, strongly advising him to do the right thing for this country. It's not forgive Kizza Besigye, he needs his freedom. Yeah, he needs his freedom. It is a plea to him to do the right thing for the country. Free him, free political prisoners, and move and create the space for a national dialogue.
That's a plea that President Museveni has not been able to hear. Probably he has heard, and he remains stuck with the decision he has chosen to take. Dr. Kizza Besigye has a case to answer, which has there has not been much of evidence tabled before courts of law. Don't you think it will really break Doctor, knowing that he could wake up and the son of the president is in leadership and he's still incarcerated?
Again, I think you're personalizing. I think what is very important here is that voices of reason continue to appeal to President Museveni to do the right thing in terms of a transition to democracy. This is important. And I don't think, and don't agree with you, that President Museveni is not influenceable. Actually, he is influenced because, one, he's deeply analytical. He studies the political situation. He assesses risks very carefully, and he takes his decisions based on what he believes is right, right? I may not agree with him, but he carefully weighs things and then makes a decision. So, if enough people, well-meaning people, experienced people, people who have a stake in this country, Ugandan people, continue to appeal to him about what is the right thing to do, I think he would yield. He's not stupid, and he weighs his risks. If he sees that everybody is against what he wants, he will change course. So we have to work on the basis of we have to assume, right? We have to assume that he is intelligent, which he is, that he assesses risks, and that he can see the danger of pursuing a path that everyone is telling him is a wrong path. So that is why I come to you. I come to you because I believe he's a reasonable person, he's smart, he knows how to do risk assessment, and wants to avoid risks for himself and for the country.
Thank you for making the time. You mentioned that you visited Dr. Besigye, and in an earlier interview, this question, you said that he was in solitary confinement.
Mm.
In a terrible. I want to speak to his well-being in prison. Is he
Yes, and this is really how persecuted he is. That in the prison where he is, the maximum security prison of Luzira, he is also in a prison within the prison. He's kept in a cell where, when I went to see him when he was on hunger strike, I went through 7 locks. Yes, from the first locked door, I went through 6 other locked doors to finally reach him, right? That's how secluded he is. And in that tiny space, there's a very tiny corridor, and prisoners are in rooms on that corridor. It opens to a courtyard that's about the size of this, right? I'm not exaggerating. It's the size of this space we are in. It is concrete, it's a concrete slab. There's no chair there. There's nothing. That is where he can go out to see the light of day. If he wants to sit, I guess he sits there on that concrete cement floor. There's nothing there. And when he's in his cell, it's a tiny cell. There's hardly any room to, he can put his legs off the bed, and then he's up against the wall. That's how narrow it is. When he stands up, he feels the space between his bed and the wall. And on the other side, the bed is completely on the wall. Right? Do you get it? The bed is on the wall. He can put his legs out and stand up, and then he's right against the second wall. That's how small the cell is. It's got very high walls and a little window at the top of the high wall. That's what brings in light. The light doesn't reach him. It's right there. So he lives in darkness there, in that little cell. It's dark. It has no air coming in, because that's a little hole where the air can come in. That's the only hole. So it's a miserable condition, and he has been bitten by bed bugs since he was there, constantly scratching himself. Bed bugs feast on him night after night. So it's a miserable. And then he's not allowed to communicate with anybody. Other prisoners come together. They can pray together on Sunday, or if they are Muslims, on Friday. Other prisoners can play football together. Dr. Besigye loves sport. He would like to join others in sports. He can't. He's not allowed even to talk to them. When they're taking him out of the cell to meet a guest, 2 people walk with him. And he's not allowed to even say hello to another prisoner he walks past. So he is in solitary confinement. But if you ask them, they'll say no. The last time I asked about that, they said to me, oh, it's for his own safety. We need to protect him from other prisoners. Cynical. Cynical. So yes, those are the conditions he's living in for 1 year. And if he doesn't come out, that's how he'll continue to live. It's completely unacceptable. It's unjust. It's cruel. It just reflects so badly on President Museveni and his government.
Is this the same state
Yes, they are together in this prison within a prison. Mm.
For the last 20 to 25 years, which we're doing, Dr. Besigye has been arrested and detained. God knows how long. But I stand to be corrected that this might be the longest time he has been in prison. I think it is not the time itself, just in general. What do you think changed? Why is this time? President Museveni is so determined, or whoever is keeping him is so determined to keep him there. When he has been given bail multiple times.
nothing has changed. I think every time he's been arrested, it was because he was trying to organize people around an issue that President Museveni doesn't agree with him on. And now it so happens that it's a project of succession that they're disagreeing about. And this time, because the project is taking a while to execute, he's locked him up for as long as he wants to do his project. I don't foresee that Dr. Besigye, that sham of a legal process can exonerate him. Because actually, if you say what has changed is probably the total capture of the judiciary. All these years that the government has thrown mud, smeared him, criminalized him, whenever he's been brought before the courts have exonerated him. But this time, it's different. This time, President Museveni has captured the judiciary. He's appointed judges that are his cadres, political cadres, whom he has very direct communication and control over. And we've seen them totally disregarding the law, making judgments that don't make sense, that are illegal. And that's now clear that this process, this court case, will lead to a sham conviction. It's almost certain that we do not have faith, as we did in the past, that courts can exonerate him. This time we don't have that faith. Look at what they did about his bail applications. For a judge to say that he had literally was saying, I've not read the file, because the file was stating very clearly when he was arrested, where he has been, and he said, I don't know about him being imprisoned by the military. But it was there on the file. She just ignored it. Now, for a judge who is trying someone for an offense that could lead to death, to be so dismissive and unaffected by his own action, that he's being unjust to someone on an issue of bail, and yet he expects to be trusted to decide whether he should live or die. I mean, it's mind-boggling. So if a judge can be so, let me say, callous and reckless, how can we expect justice from him? It's not going to be there. So that's what has changed, a captured judiciary. And that's why I keep saying to Ugandans and to others, this is a political issue. Let's seek for a political resolution to this.
Yes, Dr. Besigye, if I can use that one. Because when you say
I don't understand.
there might be a sham conviction, he has never been convicted for any crime.
No, he's always found.
When you say there might be a sham conviction, that then would sound like this is the time that quote unquote papers. Does he share those?
No, I don't want to speak for him, but what I've said is me seeing how the court case is moving and feeling that he's not going to get justice from this court, right? But for a man who is in prison and whose life is on the line, he probably wants to have faith that a judge will see that he's innocent and find him so, find him innocent. I think that if you are in his situation, you wouldn't give up hope that reason will prevail, that justice will prevail. But for me, watching it from the outside, seeing the path that Justice Baguma has taken, I have very little confidence that this man would be just. every step he's taken has been actually in breach of the very law he's supposed to be following. Does that answer your question?
Can you speak some politics?
So what?
Politics. We are
Yeah.
into it. He will be there. He will be at the
Louder.
front line.
Mm.
He's not. Unfortunately. There had been earlier when he was arrested. There had been talk that you may step in, especially after the creation of this event. What happened in there?
I've not heard of anyone asking me to stand in this election. No, I think that this must have been just the rumor mill. I have not been approached to stand in this election. PFF registered itself late and doesn't have a presidential candidate. But I'm not even their member. They created their party when I was not even here. I have yet to choose a party again. My party was FDC. I'm a founder of FDC. FDC was stolen by Museveni through Nandala and Amriyat. They stole our party, and a new one was created. I was not here when it was created. No, I'm not yet a member of a particular, my party was stolen. But I am an active Ugandan, and I am a member of the opposition. I don't agree with this government, but I'm not involved in the partisan politics of today because I'm holding an international job. But when I do retire, I will be more partisan, and I will disagree with President Museveni if he's still pursuing this path. But that's not for now, for myself, not for now.